waste a lot to go after him, or you have basically having to WQE in or WEQ in or whatever, so you don't have cooldowns, and then he just gets out of the way because he's got a W to dodge you. He just has to be confident in the matchup, and he wasn't. You don't. You just try to dodge as many R's as you can, and you just keep your level going until he gets ganked. When he gets ganked, he'll waste a W, and then as soon as he tries to come back to farm after that, then you go in on him. Did you go Duskblade or Prowler's Claw? Alright, yeah. Duskblade wasn't bad into that team as a whole, but into Corki, it's not the greatest. You almost have to have Prowler's Claw. Because he's going to try to stay out of your fucking hook range and E range, but it extends the E range essentially, is what it does. If you can E into Prowler's range, you can Prowler's through them, and then now you're on the other side of them. Yeah. Well, he can still W away, but it's like... But now you're on top of him with only just your E, basically, as opposed to having to W into range and get harassed the entire time, and then Q and CC yourself, or E and miss it, or whatever. Which would happen with Duskblade a lot of the times. So, I mean, it's not a bad item into the rest of that team, but that's just not the greatest matchup-specific item for that matchup in particular. Yeah, he just wasn't very confident. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people know that Pyke's somehow really good in mid lane, but don't know why he's really good, and a lot of that is just because of that, what I just said. They don't know why he's good, so they don't do what they should do to stop him. If he had poked you a bunch, even if he had been in your kill pressure, as long as he doesn't die to you, if he pokes you a bunch, even if he's behind you in CS, which you're not going to be great in CS, but even if he was behind you in CS somehow, which would be really bad, but let's say he's still doing his team a favor by keeping the Pyke out of the game by doing it like that. Free roam. That would not give you experience. That would take experience. But he doesn't need to get the CS, but he needs to be in the range of the dead minions as they die to get experience for his level ups. You want to get some of them. The more of them you get, the more money you have, but you don't want to trade your life bar for that usually. If it's a cannon minion and you know that they're not going to chunk you badly, maybe sometimes, usually, but not all the time.
So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. To help your money live as long as you do.
Dave Mon, he's a streamer too, or at least he used to be. I don't know if he still does.
The money you save. That's why the younger you are,
yeah.
the more you need.
Yeah, you see, he's good, but most people don't realize is he's not that great. He just understands the game, and so he plays Pyke, and he's actually able to do it. A lot of people will go hyper-aggressive on the Pyke after they're behind, and it's like, well, that's not when you want to do it.
Hey, I'm the big bad wolf. I am the villain in every story. If you want to stay out of jail, you need to go good.
So not everyone gets a second chance.
What's up, Papa?
Show the world that you're more than just a scary stereotype.
Is it true sharks can smell blood a mile away?
Yeah, see, early game when people don't have the damage to just basically one-shot you for no fucking reason, for the most part, the idea is that Pyke's Halo Blades allows him to actually trade better than most Electrocute champions would. Because the extra auto attack is worth more usually than the slight extra damage over an auto attack. So the first auto attack is an auto attack that you would have in the electrocute combo, so we can ignore it. The second one, you wouldn't have the electrocute combo, but doesn't quite match the electrocute. But the third one more than matches the electrocute usually, and is more consistent than proccing electrocute.
You deserve some credit.
What's more, it's a lower cooldown, so there's that too.
King C. Gillette is a complete lineup of tools and facial hair care products. This is the Style Master, designed to style your stubble in one stroke. A pivoting metal head that defines every edge, and 3 comb lengths for added versatility.
No, Hail of Blades only procs on auto attacks and empowered auto attacks. Empowered auto attacks add 1 to the count. So if you have a low enough Jax cooldown, you can get like 6 auto attacks in Hail of Blade spam by W auto W auto W auto W or something like that.
About the smokehouse barbecue bacon sandwich is the barbecue.
Oh, that is it's fun. It's fun. But you basically have to have a low enough cooldown for that to matter, and the only way to really do that is crit Jax anyway. Because of not crit Jax. There's you can probably do it without crit Jax, but it requires a lot of cooldown reduction, which is it's not the easiest thing to get that much of it and then stay alive for 6 auto attacks. Not the hardest thing, but it's not easy. Alright, are we gonna play the game, or are we just gonna sit here, or what do we do? Ow. Yeah, that's that game.
Starting to get things going scoring-wise. Only had 7 points at halftime. He's got 10 here in the third.
Drop.
This year, the Nets were 36 and 19 in the games he's played. Then he had that knee injury. Was out 21 games. Without him, they were 8 and 19.
Do this.
This year, Brooklyn entered the season as the favorites to win it all in their big three, but a lot of injuries game was out. Irving in the vaccine mandate, first part-time, then only road games. Kevin Durant with a knee injury, James Harden wanting out. Major in-season trade. 7th seed.
And throw in Joe Harris, season-ending surgery. I mean, as a starter and an elite sniper to help spread the floor.
They can be just as unstoppable offensively as any team we've seen. Grant Williams misses. Tatum, the offensive rebound. Claxton does a good job keeping him away. White ball shovel pass inside to Horford. Blocked by Claxton. Oh, what a block by Nick Claxton, his 3rd of the game. As forever back in now for Brooklyn. We approach the remaining here in the third. Durant. Stolen by Brown. He thought he got fouled by Grant Williams. Tatum sidestep. A lot of contact. They let him play on. Bruce Brown to Durant. Back to Bruce Brown. Blocked by Brown. Jaylen Brown. Horford back to Jaylen Brown. Banks it home. What a sequence for Jaylen Brown.
And it's absolutely as good as it gets. Hustling and making extra effort plays. He did one early in the first half, and that time getting back into the picture.
And he made that pregame speech about giving it all. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Tatum with the block shot on the Kevin Durant just 7 of 19 from the field. He's got a 3.5-second difference shot clock and game clock.
David says he doesn't want to screen. He wants to play one-on-one with Claxton.
5 to shoot. 3-pointer. Final seconds of the third. Dragic floats it up. Shot won't go. And the third quarter comes to an end. Jason Tatum, 27 points, 8 assists.
I'm just plugging my phone in just to make sure it doesn't like lose 30% charge out of nowhere and die or something. Because this phone is old and it likes to do that. And I especially need that phone to be working right now. Oh, please tell me the charger didn't break as soon as I put it in the phone. that'd be the worst thing that could happen. So my father is currently in the hospital.
Samsung Galaxy S22 when they trade in the Galaxy.
Yeah, we don't even know what's wrong with him. He may not have anything wrong. It may just be his COPD, which he doesn't have, but it runs in the family, so it'd be very unlikely that he wouldn't eventually get it. But it could be COPD, and it could just be that he had a sinus failure, a temporary sinus failure that caused him to, instead of bleed through his nose, just bleed through his lower sinuses for a couple seconds, whatever. And so his covenant blood may not mean anything. But he could also have cancer. He could have tissue damage from COVID when it didn't actually bother him when he had it. Sometimes COVID damage only shows itself months after you have it. So, could be internal bleeding, could be anything, and we don't want it to be anything and not know what it is, because the chance that he just randomly falls over and dies is bad, so they took him to the hospital. Well, I'm waiting to hear about what the blood was.
Shares your spirit with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 33 miles per gallon. A 260 horsepower turbocharged engine.
Dude, I hate that they're going to rotate. Every like 7 or so patches, they're going to rotate the Mythic shop, because they only allow you to get 3 of the specialty skins that aren't prestige skins.
But a bigger nest egg.
Yeah, at a time, and so as soon as they rotate it, Pyke won't be there, and I won't get 100 in time. It's not going to happen.
Years of experience, personalized advice, and commission-free trades.
It's probably not going to happen. I got the first 30 like real quick, but I haven't got any since.
Planning, investing.
But I had a box that I got like the very first instant that I could that gave me 10, and apparently the first one was guaranteed to give you 10. So I only really got 20 luckily.